Okay, Canada and America. Here's another vision that my twin flame in heaven told me while I was getting mad at my parents for something that happened today, which I don't totally understand why it happened, but I don't need to understand because it's not my business. Everything is not my business about what parents do. Just like everything I do is not my kids' business for them, and everything I do is not business of anyone. Nobody needs to know everything about anything about someone else. You just need to know everything about something that it involves you. Right? Okay, now we got that clarified. Now here's what Mike wants me to know. And that is that we are moving towards a system in the non-Muslim Western countries that hate Islam. And as long as we hate Islam in these countries where I live, in Canada and America, our system is going to go polarized, full tilt. Because the Christians want it that way. When they slandered Adam and Eve and blamed sin on women, they inadvertently started a war of women against men, boys against girls, and rape started to become a disease all over the earth, and murder of children too. They murder the boys first after they rape them, then they rape the girls, take the babies, and murder the women who are mothers. It's the story of war in the Christian world. And as long as we believe the Christians, today, war is never going to stop. Islam tried to teach us Adam and Eve were friends. They were best friends. They were supposed to be married. They were married. They became married. They fell from grace because they listened to the devil, and both of them fell into the sin of eating the apple. And then they were evicted from the grace, and then they came back to grace by getting forgiveness, and then humanity went on. But Christians deny that because they deny Islam's true, and they hate Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just like I used to when I was stupid and nobody told me where to go and educate myself. So I'm telling you now, and I'm not telling you any more about the story, because you have to go educate yourself, Canada and America, and you have to read the Quran with a pure heart and read parts of your faith that you believe and compare the two and cross-reference them with everything you see online. And when you find the truth, you will know the truth. But until that point, we're moving towards a new world order where boys who like to exploit the world with capitalism live in America, and girls who like truth and beauty and justice and fairness and community and and compassion and love live in Canada. And the border and the police system and the authority will all be the asexual perverts, so to speak, or the homosexual perverts, or anybody who deviates from heterosexual bipolarity. And I'm not saying we should all be transgender. We shouldn't, unless we were just transhuman and we are allowed to just take our whole body off our head and put our head on a robot. Because who needs a body if you're asexual? And that is the best way to be if you are not heterosexual. Because everything else is perversion, and using your body in a perverted way is against God. So why do we need our bodies? God created our minds, and our souls live on with God. Our body dies and rots away. Who needs it, and who needs to please it? Nobody. We should be allowed. If transgenderism is allowed to continue, then let it, but the process isn't finished. Some people like to be mutants and mutate the physical body, which is against Islam. Let them do that if they choose to do that by their own choice. But let the process continue, and let people choose to even take their entire body and their head apart and put their head on a robot body and become asexual authority figures of the whole continent of Canada and America to control the heterosexual perverts on the men's side and the women's side, who are just creating their own narratives to say they're the best and they know everything, which is not even true. They don't know everything. They don't know about the children being exploited and murdered so that they can speak and they can have their voice only heard. They don't know about their own children being victims of pedophiles outside the family who they deny because they're busy having sex with their spouses and ignoring their children in the first place. These people who think one way is the only way and unlimited everything are the heterosexual people, and they are the perverts, and the one way is not the only way, and it's not even the best way. There is no best way. The best way is that we all die and go to heaven, but suicide is against God in every religion, unless it's assisted suicide, aka legalized murder, which is humane for cases of pedophiles who have violated a child and will never recover from that grief of violating innocence and taking their life away. So listen up and listen carefully. We just need to stop the bitching and complaining and making transgenders and other sexualities about sex. It's not about that. It's just about freedom to be who you want to be, represent yourself as based on your story, which was given to you by your family situation and your community and everybody. You didn't choose that. Everybody pushes who you are upon you, and when you become an adult, you choose it. So don't let children choose to be transgendered until they're adults. And when they're adults, they have a freedom to choose whatever the fuck they want because it's their time to get justice. And justice is free choice when you're an adult capable in a sane mind to make a choice. And there's no such thing as mental illness. There's just trauma. But there is autism, and that's a blessing. And I'm autistic. I'm high functioning, and I love myself. But my ADHD symptoms are part of autism, and that's the biggest problem I have, because I talk a lot. But it's also a blessing, because everything I say is part of me and my twin flame in heaven, and it's truth. Believe it or not, everything I say comes true. One day, even if it comes true when I'm dead, or when I'm far from the people I told it to, in a new land, and I never have to see them again. Inshallah, the good things will rise, and twin flames will never be suffering again for who they love. And children will never be violated on my watch, because it's my mission now that I am not never ever needing to save myself in that way. I will be single and waiting for Mike in heaven to send me all the messages I need so that I can just clear the world of grossness before I go to heaven with him. Inshallah, 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 inshallah. Alhamdulillah for everything I have, for everything I'm learning. Astaghfirullah for anything wrong I said. And have a nice day. Salam.